I am pleased to introduce to you the valedictorian for 2019, Alfredo Yei Hernández.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning to Provost Poon, to President Snyder, to the trustees, to the administration, faculty, families, loved ones, and most importantly, to my fellow graduates of the class of 2019. As we celebrate our achievements, I think it important for us to reflect what it means to have received an LMU education. As you listen, I ask that all of you, and the Jesuit and Marymount traditions we all hold dear, discern what your time has meant to you. In my first year here, my LMU education was a chance to validate the struggles of my immigrant parents, an opportunity to pay back the hard work they put into making sure I was fed, educated, and loved. In my middle years, my LMU education became a pathway to a fulfilling life. Having been tricked into pursuing academia by my professors, my degree became a key that would open doors to worlds I never dreamed of being allowed into. However, in this last year, I have realized that our LMU education is a burden. It is a burden because we can no longer hide in ignorance. It is a burden because we can no longer excuse our indifference. It is a burden because we have been taught to be persons with and for others, and with that, the recognition that acknowledging a problem is no longer enough. Our burden is that weight of knowing the consequences of our inaction. Through our LMU education, we have tried to combat the injustices of our communities. In our classrooms, we have learned the statistics, like the abysmally high murder rates for transgender people of color. In our service, we have witnessed structural inequality, like the limitations on socioeconomic and educational opportunities to those people we love and mentor. And in our lives off the bluff, we have made conscious efforts to go forth and hear the stories of those fighting in the trenches. Those who choose to give and give up so much of themselves to others. These are the burdens, the responsibilities, the calls to action that I speak of. Those moments when learning the stories of others fills your eyes with tears or tightens your fists with rage. Yet, it is precisely because our education is a burden that I'm so glad to stand where I stand today. Because all I see before me are smiling faces. The faces of people who have gone out to the margins of society, who have chosen to do so regularly, and who sit before us excited to do it again. Our class quote reminds us that the choices we make will dictate the life we lead. And I graduate LMU invigorated because of the choices I have seen us, the class of 2019, make. All of us today have willingly carried another's burden out of love. And having the privilege to share classrooms and conversations with many of you, faculty and staff included, I'm forever amazed at the sincerity and passion I have witnessed. In these interactions, I'm reminded of a quote by my favorite president, the West Wing's Jed Bartlett, that every time we think we have measured our capacity to succeed, we look up and we are reminded that capacity may well be limitless. Never have I met a group of people so willing to do so much with so little expected in return. Therefore, I know the smiles on our faces today and the burdens we carry on our backs are not contradictory. We are here today because we accept that it is our love and actions that will make that burden lighter. And after our time here, we know that that weight is not forever. Now, I cannot deny that I leave this campus anxious about what lies ahead, of the future that we must live and mold together. but I leave here reassured that I am ready, that we are ready. We cannot afford to be indifferent, and we must do everything with intention. With love in our hearts and smiles on our faces, we must prepare to walk across this stage onto our next tomorrows. But I implore all of us, as we go forth, to use our experiences to lighten your load whenever it gets too heavy, and walk proud, knowing that with what we have learned here, we can make a difference. Thank you.